Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps SRE DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you. Okay, so JMeter. So after the functional testing, we have to do the performance testing. So performance testing means what? So performance testing means you have a website, web application. Most of the time nowadays we have website only, but performance testing can be done for the many other also webs. It's not like it should be HTTP website. It can be FTP also, FTP endpoint. It can be UDP endpoint also. It can be any other TCP also. There we have a certain thing which is running, and you want to test the performance. So you have to create a fake traffic. Now before release, you have to create a fake traffic on the website and see that how it is behaving. So that is what performance testing we have to do that before the release. Okay, so here, what is a performance testing? So performance testing basically tests how an application or resources perform under a given load to see its impact. That's all, simple. So we have to have thousands of users, 10,000s of users, 1 lakh of users, which will hit on the website, experience the website or any other app also, LDAP server also, and all kind of things, and then see that how's the performance is going on. What is the response code? Do we need to increase the capacity for the servers because the response code is too low? So like that. So how this fake traffic you can create? So performance testing is done after the functional testing. Functional testing means last session, the one which you had, Selenium. So after that you will do the functional testing. So some of the keywords you need to be comfortable with it. Now most of us, like I know that everyone is from the experience. So uh, I mean, most of you are have from the experience, coming with the experience. So I don't think so you'll not understand these terminologies, like what is the response time for your application, what is the throughput per minute per second, what exactly, whether your application is reliable or scalable or something like that. So these are the terminologies we know, understand that more or less. So I'll not drag this. So response time is equal to request time plus processing time plus response time plus latency included. Throughput means bytes sent and received by the total unit of time in a millisecond or second. That's a throughput. Reliability, the number of errors which you get it every minute or every 1 hour out of total number of errors, like a percentage of error. So number of errors by total number of requests. And scalability altogether, response time, throughput, and percentage of errors. So these are the terminologies which you use it. There is a two-way to scale up, and we use this terminologies which call vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. So what is a horizontal scaling? Horizontal scaling means adding a more compute unit, right? So you have a 2 VMs running or 5 VMs running, because traffic is high, add 5, 10 more. So that's called horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling means you have a one machine, and in that only number of instances you are running. The example for this, it can be pod containers. So you have four containers running, five, six, seven in the same machine. So that's called vertical scaling. Okay, so what is the performance requirement? What you want to know? Typically three questions. The average and maximum response time should be this. The system should be able to support this many pages per second, and the system should be capable of supporting at least this number of users per hour. So these are the requirements actually. So how do you know whether the requirement you will fulfill or not? So for that you have to do the performance testing, and that is what I'm going to teach you. So what is the process of performance testing? So first you design and build the test cases, prepare the test environment, run the test, analyze the results, optimize and retest it. So what can JMeter do? So mind it, Jmeter is not a browser, mind it. Okay, and second thing, it does not execute JavaScript. Okay, so two things remember: Jmeter is not a browser and does not execute JavaScript. That means if you are creating a performance testing using the Jmeter, you need to make sure that the performance, you will get the results, okay, but the real results you won't get it, because in the real time when you access the website, it does the, it does run the JavaScript also, and that also consumes lots of time. So for that you have to do the rum, real user monitoring, okay, which I'll teach you in the Datadog session or something. So mind it. So think of JMeter as a tool to perform multiple server requests. That means you are creating a multiple server request at the network level, okay? Network level, not a JavaScript level, network level. So what are the types of performance test? Again, we have a multiple types of performance test. Like we call it a smoke test, to just to check website is up and running or not. API load test, you give the certain loads and then see that how the website is behaving, response time and all. Stress test, you continuously increase the number of users over the period of time and see that how your application is behaving. That's called a stress test. Spike test, suddenly you create a huge traffic, suddenly you create a low traffic. So that's a spike test. You see that how your application is behaving. Endurance test, endurance test means at a certain traffic how your application is behaving. So these are the test types of test which you have it. Are you comfortable with it, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now next thing is, so what is a JMeter? So yes, we know that JMeter is not a browser. It will not run on the JavaScript. It will not run JavaScript. JMeter works at the protocol level, simulating network requests. Mind it, again I'm repeating. Network means at a network level, it creates a request at the HTTP port or FTP port number and all. So that way you have to understand. So in this here, when you simulate multiple user, one thread is equal to one user is considered. So I'll teach you how to create a thread and all kind of things. So what to do? So the flow is very simple. You create a request and JMeter save the response, and from there you collect the data. What exactly that your stats, what you have, collect the data. So installation requirements. So yes, JMeter, see this memory 16 GB and all, it's only for the testing scenarios. For the learning purpose, 4 GB, 5 GB system is okay for you. Okay, now CPU, of course, you have a few core. It will be nowadays every laptop, I think i5 is coming, so no need to talk about it. Giga network, locally, if you are trying, then gigabyte Ethernet, and anyways you'll have it. But yeah, for that again, when you design the hardware requirement for your JMeter test cases, look at the best practices available in the JER website and stuff like that. Now mind it, JMeter is developed using Java. Okay, so you have to install Java. Again, depends on the which Java. So right now, based on my memory, Java 11 is supporting the latest JMeter. So yeah, install the JDK, set the Java home, and then you try to download and install the JMeter. Okay, so now let me show you directly the demo, so that way it will save your time. So just type download JMeter, enter. Guys, here you have a JMeter. This is the zip file, tarball, and this is the zip file. Don't download source code, okay? It's open source from the Apache. So this is something. So what I have done is I have already, and you see here Java 8 is required. So what I've done, I already downloaded it. So where, I think by now you know that my location. So tools, and here JMeter. So what I did, I downloaded and extracted it. That's all. Nothing great to do. Okay. So remember that before that you have to have a Java, on which I have a Java somewhere here. I have a Java 11 set. This path, this environment is set in the Java home, and in the path environment you have to set this one. I'm using Java 11. That's okay. So yeah, JMeter, just download it and extract it certain location. You know, many people, what they do, they simply start working from the download directory, or many people do start working from the desktop directory. That's a wrong practice. Okay, keep it in a certain location like a C drive, D drive, and all, and then do that. Use it. Okay, so how do we install it? Nothing. There is no installation instruction. Just download, extract a certain part, and start it. That's all. So these are the directory you will get it. Let me show you rather than slides. Bin directory, you will have a start stop command. All the libraries you will be having here, and some of the extra directories. So let me go to the bin, and here you have so many files. Don't get lost. Here you have a jmeter.bat file, which is here. This is for Windows, and jmeter.ss file. This is for Linux. Same package will work in the both the platform. Okay. So are you comfortable, all of you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now, guys, this is the JMeter installation. So let me talk about the one of the stuff which you should focus, and that is called plugin manager. Okay. So here, now the question is, what is a plugin? So guys, I don't know what reason, but JMeter plugin manager is separate. So first of all, what is plugin? So plugin basically is a way to add more features to JMeter. Okay. So here, this website you see on the screen, here you get jmeterplugins.org. You have a lots of plugins actually. So let me show you here. Jmeters plugin, and I mean plugin. This is the website. So you have so many plugins which you can use for JMeter. You can browse a plugin here. So many plugins you have. Now plugins means adding a new features to JMeter which is not available in a core JMeter. But I don't know this logic. I have not able to understand why this plugin manager, the using that you can install and uninstall the plugin, is not installed in the core. Yes, that is a problem. So plugin manager is not installed in the core installer. So that means it's very difficult to add the plugins for it. So what do we do in this case? So basically they have given you here, you can download this plugin manager. It's a jar file, okay? And here what you can do, you can copy inside the libraries here, an ext location. And if you see that here, there's somewhere, should be plugin manager somewhere. Here it is. So you have to copy manually. Not sure what is the reason for it, but this is how. So again, I'm repeating, you after installing the core, you have to download this jar file for the plugin manager also, and then install the, then start the JMeter. So that way you get a plugins also. So now because plugin manager is already available in my case, I'll open up this command line, and this is the file, run it. That's all. Now it's little time consuming. It will take few seconds to get started. Mind it's a console based application. Okay. So this is how it is. So now guys, now some of the plugins which I want you to install is this one: custom thread groups, 3 basic graphs, throughput shaping timer, and dummy sampler. Now how to install it? So basically manual process, you know by now. Install, download the jar file, put it in that directory, restart the JMeter, and good to go. But because something we are lazy, so we want to do through this UI. So go to the here options, see this plugin manager. Earlier, if you don't copy the jar file, you'll not have this plugin manager, and click on it. And these are the installed plugin. These are the available plugin, and these are the upgrades available. So I have installed all this plugin. Okay, many plugins I have installed which I needed, but in the recording will be there. Just try to install these plugins which you might need it for creating a traffic. Okay, so a lot of plugins we have installed it. So what to do? Just let's say there's one plugin you want to install, this one. So click here. Now guys, there is a one UI issues. It will be in the recording, so you must remember that console is not coming full. So what I'll do, minimize it. See here, apply changes and restart the JMeter. So after selecting the plugin, you have to do this and then restart the JMeter. Then only the plugin will be installed. Okay, manually also you can do that. Just copy the jar file in the ext directory. Okay, so
So,
that's all.
Rajesh, what is the other method you mentioned to install the plugins?
Simple. Copy the jar file, come to this place, and
Or those plugins directly
ha
download and copy here?
ha. These are the,
Oh,
yeah. This UI is doing nothing but they're downloading from the internet and keeping it here.
oh, okay,
Okay,
got it.
yeah. So that's it's up to you. How do you want it? Okay, so that's a plugin manager story. So now this is your software. Okay, the moment you hit the bat, this is your software. Now don't get scared. It's a aged old software actually. I think people are using from last 20 years, I guess. Yeah, so pretty old software, but very effective, by the way, to create a fake traffic, very effective. So now you see that many menus are there. Some of the menus you understand automatically, some of the menus you have to understand. Look at this here, lots of context options are there. So here if I do add thread, config element, listener, timer, preprocessor, post processor, assertions. Remember last session I taught you assertions, test fragment, and so on. So what is this? You'll have to understand. Some paste, open, merge, save, disable, enable, all these things. So this is the something which you need to understand now. So let me go to the next slide. It will be easy for me and saving time also. So yes, you have to create a tree structure, and there we have to do something. So this is your structure actually. So you have a configuration element, thread group, listener, and test fragment. If you look at it very carefully, inside the thread group you have a sampler and timer, and I mean you have a timer of the sampler. If you look at the right side, thread group, inside that you have a controller, and inside a controller you have a sampler, and then preprocessors and post processors and assertions. And then so what exactly this one? So look at this here. Directly I'm talking about this is the test plan, and then whatever the testing you want, you have to add the element accordingly. Okay, so now you need to understand what is a thread, what is a config element, what is a listener, what is a timer, preprocessor, assertion. I told you assertion just now in a JMeter, and test fragment and so on. So what is this actually? So you need to understand. Okay, so it's very easy though, little bit of practice required. So what is a test plan? Test plan, the root element of a test where its overall settings are specified and all other elements are contained. So I showed you the test plan already. Now thread group. In a simple way, thread group is equal to number of users. Very simple. Okay, very simple. So can I add the thread group here? Go to add thread group. That's all. Simple. Now how many users you want to add to the thread group? This is a group of thread. So one user by default is there, but you want to make it 100. It's up to you. And ramp up period every seconds automatically by one. And you want this 100 users to be running on the website continuously, infinite or one time, you decide. Infinite. I'll go for 10 only. Okay, why? Because if I go more than that, my system gets stuck and all of my session will be spoiled. So here you can decide how many number of users should be hitting parallelly on the website, and then same time every second how many users should ramp up while running it. Are you understanding, all of you? Some of the things you have also, you can understand this actions to be taken after sample error, continue or stop test or stop test now, something like that. You can do that. So are you comfortable, all of you? Hello, hello, am I audible? Hmm.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Okay. So now what is the next element? So here we have, after this test plan and thread group, we have a configuration element. So configuration element, basically you can configure the your run request. A configuration element, if I want to put it in simple way, let's say you want to use one values every places. So set the variable here, that will become a configurations. Okay. So many configurations options are there. Okay. So if you see that here, that thread group, add, here you have a configuration element. So you can add lots of data actually. You can add a HTTP header manager, cookie manager, cache manager, counter, Java, LDAP, login information, username and password, random variable, simple config element. So many things you can do that actually. User defined variable. So all this thing you can run it. It depends on that what you exactly you are trying to do. Okay. So let's go and add it one random variable. Okay. And or you can delete this, and let's add the here user defined variable. I will define my own variable. Define it depends on this. So user defined variable, add it. What is this? So here you specify name and value, Rajesh Kumar. Okay, you want to use this variable name anywhere, you can use it. So this is the way you can add, depends on your configurations, you can add anything. Let's say username and password, JDBC and all this stuff, you can use it. JDBC connection detail and all. HTTP authentication manager you can use here. FTP detail, DNS detail and all stuff like that. So yes, this is the second element if you want to use it. Now after that we have a controller and sampler. So before controller, I'll talk about sampler. Okay, so what is sampler? So sampler is the real element which will do the request. Yeah, we call it sampler in Jmeter. So sampler is a real element which will do the request. For example, perform a request generating one or more results. So now if I see that, how do we add the sampler? So you go here, add it, sampler. Now for sampler, you should be having type of it. What kind of request you want to make it? HTTP request, JDBC request, or LDAP request, mail request, SMTP request. What exactly? FTP request, all these things. So right now, just to we don't want to complicate this. HTTP is more than sufficient, and this URL I use it. rajeshkumar.xyz HTTP URL. So let me use the sampler. So go to add sampler, and here HTTP request. Now you have to read this. Here you have to specify domain name. So here HTTP www domain name. What is the port number? So here you can specify the port number, but right now it's 18 default. You can do that. Path index.html. So I know this website. So the application, which is the first file, is index.html. So that's the reason I'm calling it. So here you can change this all these configurations also. Okay. Now if you want to pass something here, some parameter and all, you can pass this here also. For example, parameter is what? Let's say go to the Flipkart and search for mobile, and see this is the query parameter. See Q mobile, O tracker search, O tracker one search, marketplace this one. These are the parameter. So if you want to pass parameter, here you have it. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello, hello.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Okay. So now after doing this, what to do? So guys, here you see, you decided the number of users here, thread group, and you decided what to request for. Okay, and HTTPS, right? So I forgot this HTTPS. Yeah. So this is the request for. Now what? So when you request, you have to you get a response. How do you want to see that? So that we call it. We call it. I'll come back to the controller little bit later. Okay. So that we call it. That we call it sampler. Sampler. There's too many slides. So listener is done. Sampler is where that. Okay, this must be down, I guess. Huh. So here we call it sampler, not properly coming right now, but sampler. So again, there's a different types of sampler. Sampler is nothing but the graph which you'll see about the results. So let me add this here, add sampler. Sampler
Rajesh,
of,
small correction actually.
oh,
Listener
sorry,
is
sorry,
the
sorry.
graph.
Sorry. Yeah. So listener, this is the uh, opposite way. Yeah. So I'm talking about the, uh, yeah, got it. Sorry. So here the one which is here is a sampler. Okay. So HTTP sampler which I created. Now we have to have a listener. So listener means what? So listener means all the response which we collected through the JMeter will be stored at a one format, but display in a multiple graph. So that's called listener. So here I'm going to add a listener right now. I want to see the view results tree. Different, you can add it multiple listeners, and you want to have summary reports. You want to have summary done, right? Aggregate reports, all these things you want to do that. So these are the different types of results you will see in a different format. Okay. So here you see number of users. Here you decide what request to make, and then all this request in what format to be displayed, you decide it. Okay. So this is something which we have it now. I'll not complicate, just give me a few minutes more, then save this project. So go and save this project, and now I did it. Now I will run it. Okay, and see that request is going. Each request you can study, and here your sample results. You make a request like this, you see that HTTPS here, and it's a green means its response code is 200. Here you get the response data. See here all this response data. Okay, and header you got it, this one. See, everything you have it, but you want to see the summary total. Here it is, total 840 70 or something is growing. Average response time, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, error percentile, throughput received, and all this thing. You got this. So when you have this many traffic, what exactly you will get it, you have a report, aggregate report. This is the aggregations. Still I'm running this, and so on. So guys, did you understand that, all of you, how to use that to create a fake traffic and test that capacity and performance?
Rajesh, how do we get this reliability and endurance, those type of things? It's a different
So
format.
here reliability means you have one thing. First, look at the response time. So here you have a response time, and here you have a through error, right? And here you have a throughput. So these three, four things combined, and then you get a reliability. So other graph is also there. Listener, if you see, here you have other graphs also, graph results. Uh, this one also will help you for that. Many. Okay, so now what we understood, this is a
One
thread
more,
group.
Rajesh. Rajesh, see, you're running from only one host, right? See, for the network latency and all, we need to run it from multiple hosts, right? Do we have the configuration for running it from different hosts simultaneously?
No. That is the thing. No, this creating a faking the multiple traffic. One
Uh-huh.
one thread is equal to one user. So here it's behaving like a, how many I said, I forgot, 10 users. So that
Right.
means it's behaving like a 10 user from the different machines.
Different. Okay.
That is the JMeter which will help you to do that. I'll make it 1,000 also, but my system will hang actually.
Yeah. And where do we see this network latency, if there is any?
Here, yeah. So here, complete details you have here. Look at this. Uh, uh, Throughput what you have in this, you can find out, and then average reports. Each request, if you want to study, here you have it, complete details, sample results, and here sample count, error count, and you see the load time, latency, you see that these are in microseconds, by the way. And connect time 0. So connect time 0 means SSL handshake is connect time 0. That means because all our network also is coming at a very simple thing.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so now here we have used the variables, and there is one more thing which we have is a controller. So controller means what? There is somewhere controller wizard there. Logic controllers. What is a controller? So basically controller controls the sampler when to run and when not to run. Simple. Controller control the samplers. So here if you look at this image, let me show you here. Here see that very simple way. Controller, here you have sampler, you have here which is inside a controller. So what I did this time, first demo, what I used the sampler inside the thread group. But if you want to run this sampler based on a certain condition, then you can add a controller first and the sampler. So let me add it here, and here I'm adding the controller. So adding add controller, logic controller, if controller, and here if controller, I'll drop this one somewhere here. And now you see here if controller, and here I'll write a condition and then it will run. So let me delete that all the test results. Clear, clear, new test. Okay, clear. And this is the I want to run when the variable which is my name, what is the name, is equal to Rajesh. So here I'll just make it Rajesh only, just to make it simple. So variable name is Rajesh. So here this should run, this sampler should run if here I'm adding condition. So how do we add it? So use if uh, just a second, dollar this one, right? Name, right? Name, wait, let me change something. So here dollar name is defined. Okay, so here what I'm doing, expression this one is if it is defined. So name is defined, then run this. If name is not defined, false, then don't run this. So right now it's defined, so let me save and run it. And where is run? Here. So now you see that it's running. Now stop it. Clear, 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 clear. Now I'll just go and change name one, save it, and now name is not defined because that variable I changed it. So now let me run this, and you see here there's no test case. Oh, it's coming actually. How come? Just a second. If controller, there's some problem here. I'm making some mistakes. So just a second, hold on. The syntax is Jmeter check variables value. Syntax, some issues I'm making, and that one. If controller. Uh, 1 is equal to 1, that's correct. True. Wait a second. Okay, okay, I understood this. So name is equal to dollar is coming, curly brace is coming. Okay, let me do this. Name is equal to Raju. So if it is true, then only run this one. So now save it. So my value is Rajesh. Value is Rajesh, and here controller is name is equal to Raju. So both are different. So it should not run. So let me clear this and run this. Again, it's thing. I don't think so there's a problem in that, but just give me a second. Maybe, yeah. So I'm just hierarchy, I just change it. Let me do this. So clear, 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 and run it. Wonderful. So hierarchy was problem at that time, so it was not able to run it. Oh, sorry, wait. Now it's okay. So now it's not running. Why? So because of, you see here the variable name is equal to Rajesh, and here controller I said, hey, if name is equal to Raju. So like this, you will have to set this condition and do the stuff. Now one more component which we have, which is called assessors. I will show you the assessors also. So look at this. Assessors mean last session I told you assertions. Sorry, not assessors. Assertions. So assertions will check whether what is the response code you are getting, whether you are getting or not. Means whatever the verifications. So how do we set the assessors? So let me remove this for time being to avoid the complexity. We have up. Sampler also I removed by mistake. HTTPS here and index.html. So this is the I added. I'll just move this flow though. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it this uh, test case. I mean this whether it's passing or failing. So when I make a request, if you look at this, let me save this and let me request here. This is failing. Why? So let me stop it. Why it's failing?
Rajesh, HTTP request name you didn't close properly that variable.
Yes. Copy paste mistake, guys. So now let me see that. Clear the screen.
Yeah, you need to remove that HTTPS also right, from that URL.
Just a second. Let me check index.html, https. This one, no port 80 is defaults. That's okay. So now save it. Now run this, and my system is hanging somewhere. Uh, uh, Wonderful. Yeah. So now that assessors, what is assessors then? So assessors means it will check whether that you are getting the right output or not. So let me clear this screen, and now I'm adding the assessors. So here, how do we add it? So go here, add it, assertion, sorry, and assertions based on what? So based on the response, because it's a website, so response is a good. Now guys, in this short window you have too many things actually. You want to validate based on the text response, response code, response message, or many things, contains, matches, equal to, substring, all these are. So here response code, no, I will go for response message. Response code is like 200 400 like that. Response message, you can do the header level also, but here is equal to, no, I will say contain what. So here we have to add it, so it contain this one. So add it, this one. I'll just copy paste, not happened. And here not able to contain, that means, see here logic is very simple. Jmeter will create this many traffic on this website. Response will be stored by Jmeter, and if the response code is not this, that means they will flag the failure. But let me first run it, and then we change this. So this is the reality right now, and then run. Let me change this uh, here also, and then run it. And now see here, HTTP request, I stored it, here it says failing. Why is failing? So if I go here, see here, it says it should not fail though, but copy paste mistake. Message expected to contain over 15 years of extensive. So why it got failed? So response session. Okay, my bad. Here contains match is equal to not response header. Text response or response message. Okay, I need to check what is the difference between response message and text response. So let me do this text response and save it, clear this, run it. Yep. So now this is passing. So now if you see that is passing. Now what I'll do, I'll say, hey, I'm expecting 16 years. Now it should fail. So let me save it, clear the test cases, and then see here it's failing. Now let me find out why it's failing. Stop it. Come here, response assessment. See here. So you expected 16, but it's in real it's a 15. So here assessment is failing. So this is the way you can create a fake traffic to your applications and experience the average response time, minimum response time, maximum response time, deviation, errors, throughput, received, sent and receive, average, and then plus whether that your assessment is okay or not. So again, this has to be explore each and every option in detail. So guys, are you understanding, all of you?
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.